Hello, Slasher fan. I'm here today to talk about the Dark Cuts universe. You must be thinking, what is Dark Cuts? Dark Cuts is the name I gave to Scream Comics. I will comment on the comics, Scream 1, Scream 2, and Scream 3. Let's start with Scream 1. These comics have a different story from the movie. In the movie we have the introduction of Ghostface attacking Casey. The comics start showing the death of Sydney's mother. Sydney enters the room and sees her mother dead. The death scene of Casey being killed by Ghostface only happens later in the comics, and there is a difference. Casey is killed along with her twin sister and her older sister. And different from the movie, in comics chapter 3 there is a flashback of Roman meeting Maureen Prescott, his mother, and Roman being rejected by her, and in this same chapter it is shown that Roman is watching Sydney from a distance. And in this same chapter 3, Ghostface makes his first attack on Sydney. Sydney manages to escape from Ghostface. Billy Loomis appears and ends up getting punched by Ghostface. And then a police officer who was in the area sees Ghostface and shoots Ghostface several times in the chest. Ghostface falls to the ground bleeding, but then he gets up and disappears. One thing I forgot to say is that Ghostface in the comics is much stronger and less idiotic than in the movie. Ghostface is much stronger. He breaks walls and doors, and can withstand shots without bulletproof vest. Continuing, in chapter 4 Tatum and her mother are killed by Ghostface. Sydney finds out that Tatum was killed, but then she hears a loud noise coming from the downstanding floor of the house. Sydney then finds her father dead. Ghostface appears and tries to hear Sydney. Sydney runs and goes to a police station, and then Sydney and a police officer look for police officers dead on the floor. Sydney and the police officer run out of the police station. Ghostface appears and tries to attack them both. The police officer shoots Ghostface in the chest. Ghostface falls to the floor unconscious. For days after the attack, Sydney and Billy go to Stu's party. Sydney and Billy have fun, but then Ghostface breaks a door and Ghostface appears, then starts to stabbing Billy. Everyone at the party gets scared and run. Sydney is paralyzed. Ghostface runs after Sydney. Sydney manages to outside Ghostface. She then finds Billy on the floor asking for help. Sydney lifts Billy up. Billy then asks for the gun that Sydney found, and then Ghostface appears. Billy then smiles. Billy points the gun at Sydney. Sydney gets confused. Billy reveals to be a Ghostface, and then the other Ghostface reveals himself to be Stu. And then in chapter 5 there is the final battle where Billy and Stu are defeated by Sydney. But I'll be warning you that Sydney only won because of the plot armor, and so ends Scream 1 comic.